迎收看这一期的《佳片有约》，我是主持人纪晓君。有这样的一位影星，他的名字在夏威夷语里面的意思是山谷吹来的清风。他可以说是一位当红的一线明星，但是他经常也接拍一些小众的电影，有时甚至完全消失在公众的视野中。有人说他是一个演员，而且是一个不可复制的演员。而这一次，他又带着他的导演处女作《太极侠》出现在了公众面前，他就是我们今天的主角基努·里维斯。掌声有请基努·里维斯。来来。
Hello.
Please take a seat.
谢谢。
Now we're in the light, so say hello again to your fans.
Thank you. 谢谢。
Before we start, I've got something for you, actually. This is from one of your fans sitting down there.
Okay.
It's a gourd, but if you take a look, this is in English. And this is the name. It's a gourd. This is dragon.
Oh, the
and
dragon.
She knows that you were born in the year of the dragon?
That's correct.
That's right. And your fan is right over there.
谢谢。Awesome. I put the dragon here.
That's right.
Okay.
基努·里维斯，他用丰富多彩的银幕形象证明着自己的演技。他的谜样人生和他的电影一样，有着与众不同的吸引力。2012年，他决定亲自执导一部功夫大片《太极侠》，自己在片中出演反派角色，并且全程在中国完成电影拍摄。上个月的7月5号，基努·里维斯的首部导演作品《太极侠》亮相中国的大银幕。
Let the show begin.
今天，佳片有约将为大家放映基努·里维斯2010年出演的电影《亨利的罪行》。电影中，基努·里维斯扮演了一个企图改变自己人生轨迹的男人。
The one I didn't rob. That's your dream. Yeah.
3年之后，以华丽变身导演的基努·里维斯走进《佳片有约》节目现场，为您讲述他纯净如风的电影人生。
That's for Man of Tai Chi.
Yes.
How long have you been working on this project?
Before 2006. Probably 2006.
Even before 2006?
Yeah, maybe 2006.
This is your first production as a director, then why Kung Fu? Why the Chinese theme?
This was really inspired by the lead actor Chen Hu. I met him when I was working on a film called The Matrix in 1997. And he was part of Yuan Wu-ping, who's the action director, very famous action choreographer. He was part of the action team. And so he was training me for preparation for the first Matrix and for the second and third in 2001 and 2. And so we spent a lot of time together. And we struck up a friendship. And Tiger was the inspiration in the sense that he grew up studying traditional Tai Chi, but he's also very modern. He ended up kind of joining this action team. He was a teacher in Philadelphia in the States. He was, action stuntman in China, in America. He led a very modern life, and yet he carries with him this tradition. And so, as we were trying to find a story to work together, I wanted to kind of come, especially since, it was early work for him, something that was close to him, something he could relate to.
Yeah.
And this story was born.
You're the director, but at the same time, you also act as the villain, the bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, do you find it difficult to balance your different roles, as the director and also as the actor?
I will confess that the first day was very challenging. The first day was challenging because I had no experience of it. And the role of an actor is concerned with your role, with the other performer, with the story.
The interaction.
Yes, and from that perspective. The director, for me at least, is overview, is looking at everything. But after that, I had the experience and I learned from it and was able to enjoy it more as the days went on.
Have you always wanted to be a director?
No, that kind of came later in life, I guess. You know, I've been acting professionally since I was 15, 16. And as the days went on, as in my 40s, I started to kind of have a different view. And I always felt that I wanted to direct when I felt like I had a story to tell.
Right.
It wasn't just like, I want to be a director. It was like,
To be the boss, you know.
yeah,
to be the
no, it wasn't about like, okay, I got the chair.
That's
You know, Kaiser, ting. You know, it wasn't just like, you know, it was about wanting to tell a story.
基努·里维斯1964年9月2日出生于黎巴嫩的贝鲁特，他的童年是在辗转不断的搬家和动荡不安中度过的。少年时期的基努·里维斯对上学没有兴趣，而是热衷于冰球和戏剧。在5年内转换了4所中学后，他干脆在高中辍学去演戏了。1985年，21岁的基努·里维斯带着仅有的3000美元，开着一辆二手车，向着洛杉矶出发，开始了他的好莱坞寻梦之旅。1986年，他出演了电影《血性小子》，这份在好莱坞的第一份正式工作，为基努·里维斯带来了3000美元的酬金，而基努·里维斯也为好莱坞带去了一缕清新自然的气息。他融合了西方人的清晰线条和东方人的细腻柔婉，骨子里散发出一股优雅与忧郁。他迅速成为了好莱坞的宠儿，开始在大银幕上演绎各种不同的人生故事。
But if you take a look at the characters you portrayed, you know, in the past decades in all these movies, do you see a bit of yourself, you know, from those characters you're portraying?
You know, I think I would say that there are parts of me. You know, when I approach a role, I always the model I use is that here's the role, and here I am, and here's the story, and together I learn about the character, and through that, in this story, we come together. But also, what came from me could be my humor, could be my thought, could be, you know, my emotional experience. All of these things go into this moment. And so, you know, and it also depends on the role. So some are closer to me.
Some are more you, some are less you.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some posters of
Okay.
your early productions, early movies. You tell me and tell us which
Okay.
one is more you, which one is less you. Take a look at the posters. That's Matrix.
Yeah. And I have some of the hope that
Right.
that Neo has for, you know, eventually of the trilogy, he ends by saying, you know, he's facing the machine, and the machine says, "What do you want?" And Neo says, "Peace." So I have that in common with him.
That's what you want. Henry's crying?
Henry is not so close,
That's the bad guy.
but I like Henry very much. He's
Right.
funny and he's warm.
And Point Break, we actually had it aired on our channel.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
on the best Point Break. That was from 1991, right?
Wow, that was a lot of fun. Point Break was fun. That was fun.
And
Private
of course,
Lives.
Speed.
Oh, and Speed. Speed, no. Well, maybe as a young man, you know, like when you want to be the hero.
Yes.
You know, that fantasy, like you want to save the day.
Yeah.
He and I had that in common. Sweet November. Maybe probably the gentle side.
Actually, more familiar to Chinese fans. Speed?
Speed, absolutely. Point Break and Speed, definitely.
Point Break, yeah.
Yeah. It opened up something that I didn't think I would do, which was action films.
You didn't realize it would be...
I didn't know. I mean, I was very physical, but I didn't know that I could, you know, play a cop. It was, you know, it was exciting. It was, you know, the director, Jan de Bont, had a real ambition to create a film with energy, something that had a kind of humor to it, accessibility. It turns out the director, Jan de Bont, was the cinematographer on the first Die Hard.
Right.
So he was the one filming, Bruce Willis in Die Hard. And then he wanted to direct, and Speed was that film. So for me, it was fun. Got to do training, got to play with guns,
And that was a huge success.
Playing SWAT. Yeah, I mean, people liked it.
Did it bring you any say changes in your life? I mean, how was it? How different was it in your life?
It was kind of surreal. I mean, I remember one time I was in Los Angeles on my motorcycle at a stoplight, and this bus came up, and it was like, it was like a big poster for Speed, and I was like, who's that guy? What's going on here? But at the same time, it was very exciting. It was cool. And yeah, it changed. It was one of the films that changed my life.
生死时速当年在全球取得了3.5亿美元的高票房，而且它也是中国观众在大银幕上看到的第一部基努·里维斯影片。不过，令所有人惊讶的是，因为生死时速的故事不再吸引自己，基努·里维斯放弃高达1000万美元的片酬，拒绝出演生死时速的续集。接着，他陆续出演了《云中漫步》、《连锁反应》、《爱上明尼苏达》等影片。他试图与主流商业影片保持距离，而所出演的独立制作影片并不卖座，基努·里维斯的明星光环逐渐暗淡。1997年，为了和奥斯卡影帝阿尔帕西诺合作，他自降片酬拍摄了《魔鬼代言人》。然而，这部影片票房并不理想。
You played me. It was a test, your test. And Colin, knowing he was guilty.
这之后将近1年，基努·里维斯都没有接到任何片约，直到《黑客帝国》找到他。电影中基努·里维斯的黑色修身风衣、墨镜和洒脱流畅的中国功夫，引发了全球影迷的狂热追捧。而最为重要的是，基努·里维斯所扮演的尼欧，超脱于好莱坞英雄群像之外，他的忧郁含蓄赋予了这个角色独特的魅力。
Chen-Hu's right over my right there.
All right, that's Chen-Hu.
Yeah.
So when you look at yourself in Matrix, good acting?
Yeah.
Cool guy, a charming guy.
Yeah, he's doing his best,
If you take a look at Matrix, I can't believe even it was a production in 1997. You started the production in 1997 and it was released in 1999.
Yeah.
So which part of it attracted you more? I mean, the kung fu part, the stunt part, or the philosophy?
Yeah, the ideas.
The idea.
The ideas most certainly were the first things. I'd never seen these ideas put into a story like this before. I mean, just the idea of the Matrix itself as a model of an alternate reality. To then have a lesson of like how to confront our own reality and question it.
What about its influence on you personally? I mean, if you say Speed was a huge success, then these sequels, they made you huge, right? In your career-wise.
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people reacted to and loved them and continue to, which is really cool.
And you also did the sequels this time.
I did.
The stories were good?
The stories were amazing.
Or maybe you learned a lesson from Speed?
No.
It's not like that.
Mayo, boo, boo, boo. No, they were amazing.
It's more about the stories.
Absolutely.
So it's more about the story. I mean, do you have your own principles of deciding what movies you want to be in?
When I can. When I can afford to, or if I have that opportunity. You hope to be able to do things that you are interested in and that you like,
Then what about one of the movies we just saw in the posters?
Which one?
The Devil's Advocate.
Yes.
What about that movie? And did
What
you
about
like
it?
that one?
Did I like it? I
Yeah.
love that film.
But it was
It's one of my favorite.
one of your favorites. But
Yeah.
it seems it didn't do well in the market.
It didn't?
And that doesn't really, contradict against your decisions, your choices.
Oh, I think it did okay, didn't it? No? I don't know. I thought it did. You know what? You hope that the films do well, but you don't know. You know, being creative and well, I mean, it's you can't know.
And in that movie, in The Devil's Advocate, you worked with,
Al Pacino.
exactly.
Yeah.
How is he? And how would you?
He's cool.
He's cool.
He's an amazing artist. I grew up watching him.
He's also an Academy Award winner. I mean, how do you see these awards? Because sometimes, in some cases, people act for the hope that one day they might win an award, especially the Academy Award, and sometimes other people might act because they love what they are doing. Which one is you?
I think that can be part of the story and part of the hope or ambition or dream. For so many, and me, myself included, Hollywood was that. It's where those movies where I went to, the movies that I grew up on, that was the place they were made. It was cinema, and I wanted to be a part of that. Part of that, my mother used to watch the Academy Awards all the time. And, I kind of believe in some of the glamour of it. But it's definitely not like, I have to win an Academy Award. It's not quite like that.
After this interview, we're going to actually show a movie of yours from 2011.
Okay.
That's Henry's Crime.
Oh.
Tell us more about this movie.
Yeah, sure. It has James Caan in it, who's amazing. The actress Vera Farmiga, who's awesome. It was a first-time director, Malcolm Venville. Second-time director. It's a romantic comedy. It's about a man who wants to change his life by robbing the bank. He was working as a toll booth operator, kind of symbolically in the middle of nowhere. He watches people come and go. He's not in love anymore. So when this opportunity comes, he goes to jail, and then he decides, coming out of jail, through a kind of tutelage, through instruction by James Caan, who's an older prisoner in it, a con man, to rob a bank. There's a theater, and there's a tunnel, and there's an actress, and they're doing a play called The Cherry Orchard.
Yeah.
So the only way that we can dig the tunnel and get into the bank is for me to be an actor in the play.
Well, I mean, it's a very intriguing story, and then once again, it's about the story that attracted you at the time.
On some glasses, the paparazzi. Oh,